Good morning, 2A. So today we're going to continue talking about fractions, and today we're going to talk about something called equivalent fractions or equal fractions. So we know that equal means the same, so we know that equivalent fractions are fractions that are the same. Now, so if we wanted to make one whole of something, we can use different types of fractions in order to build that whole. So I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. Let me share my screen. Okay. So here we have some pizzas, and the pizzas are cut into different size slices. So if I have a pizza and I cut it into 2 slices, each person is going to get a pretty big slice here. But if I cut it into 12 slices and you got a slice, it's going to be smaller because you're sharing it with 12 people. But if you, no matter how you cut it, the amount of pizza you're going to eat is still the same. So if I'm cutting a 2-slice pizza and I eat 1/2 of the pizza, it's this big of a slice. If I cut it into 4 slices and then I eat 2 of those slices, it's the same as eating 1/2 of a piece of pizza. If I cut it into 6 slices and I eat 3 of those, it's still the same as the 1/2 and the 2/4 of the pizza. If I cut it into 8 pieces and I eat 4 of them, it's still the same as 1/2, 2/4, and 3/6 of the pizza. The same thing goes with my 10-slice pizza. 5 of those slices are the same as 1/2. And if I cut it into 12 pieces and I eat 6 of them, that's the same as 1/2. So even if I had one big piece and my friend had 6 little pieces, we're still getting the same amount of pizza, even though they're just cut into different sizes. So we can make a whole a bunch of different ways. So we can make this same amount in a bunch of different ways. We just need more slices to do it because the slices are smaller. I'm going to share one more with you because this is a little bit of a tricky concept. So if we were at school today, we would be doing something with what are called fraction strips, which are these strips right here. And you'll notice that we have the one hole on the top. And then there's a bunch of different ways they made it line up, which means that they're the same. So they took 1/2, 1/3, and 1/6 together and they made it into one whole. And then they took 4 of the fifths and they put it, and then they added some tenths at the end to make it a whole. And then this one, they took 7/7 and they made it into one whole. So they lined up their fraction strips in a bunch of different ways in order to make one whole. So this is something that's a little tricky, and it's something that unfortunately we're doing online a little bit. So I want you to try your best. This is something that in 3rd grade, your teachers will go over again. So if you don't understand it this time or you're having a really hard time with this, don't worry about it. You will go over this again in 3rd grade when we're back in person again, and you have the strips in front of you, and it will make a little more sense. So for today, what I'm going to ask you to do is I'm going to ask you to just try to use the online fraction strips we have here. So what I'm going to ask you to do is I'm going to ask you to put one hole at the top in this first row. So we have our one hole, it kind of locks itself into place. And then you'll notice we have a bunch of other pieces. We have pieces that are 1/2, we have pieces that are 1/12, and all different sizes in between. I want you to try to line up the pieces underneath to make it so they're the same size as this top one. So if I do 2/2, I made it the same size as my top one. So I know that these 2 pieces together are the same size as this one whole. Now maybe I want to try this with 1/8. Maybe I want to try an 1/8 and a 1/3 and another 1/3. I'm looking at that space and I think it might be about like a 1/5. They're a little off, but it's close enough. So I did this again. And now I'm going to find a 3rd way of doing this. So your job is just to play around. If you need to, you can always move pieces away and they disappear. So I could try something else. Maybe I want to put another 1/8. Maybe I want to try a 1/2 there. See, this 1/2 goes too far over. So I can't use this. It's too big. It's not the same size. So you're just going to keep dragging and dropping until you find some that work. You can use all of the same like I did here, or you can use a bunch of different sizes down here, a bunch of different fraction pieces. So this is what I want you to try today. You're just trying to find 3 ways to make this hole at the top. Again, this is something that we'll do in 3rd grade again, that even though we might have some trouble with it in 3rd grade, or right now in 3rd grade, it will be better explained in person and you'll have a lot more hands-on tools to use. So I know this is a little tricky today. Try your best. If you run into any big issues, message me on Class Dojo or send me an email and I will get back to you. I hope I see many of you tomorrow at 11 a.m. for our Zoom. We're going to be talking about fact and opinion tomorrow. If you need the link for that, it's on our Class Dojo page or it's in the email I sent out on Monday. So you can, excuse me. So you can check that out if I don't see you tomorrow because you can't make it. I hope you have a wonderful weekend and I will see you on Monday. Have a great Thursday, everyone.